from sports today. I hope you're done with your morning coffee, your breakfast as well. You're well fed. Allow me now to feed you with some cricketing news, some sporting news. Plenty happening in the cricketing world, plenty happening outside of cricket as well. Over the next couple of minutes, I look forward to driving you through everything that you need to know, or you perhaps ended up missing out on over the last night's sleep that you were catching up on. Let's first start with cricket, as we like doing so over here. India closing in on a win, a famous win in Kanpur. 2 days being washed out. There was a bit of resistance you saw from Bangladesh on this last day of the Test match. It's gone to the last day because day two, day three, as you know, were washed out. And from a time where you were looking at a draw, well, India closing in on a very famous win. A bit of resistance that we saw from Bangladesh, from two of their batters who stuck in there, give the Indian team a bit of a headache to begin the day with. But that resistance didn't last too long. The Indian spinners came into play. Ravindra Jadeja has already picked up a couple of wickets. So has Ashwin. Jasprit Bumrah was the latest wicket taker for the Indian team. Now just 2 wickets away as we speak. So India inching closer. We could have talked about an extended session, maybe not now because there's still 2 wickets left. However, if we end up picking one more wicket over the next couple of minutes, maybe there's going to be that extension as well. Coverage of that in detail coming up as far as the lunch session or the match end is concerned. Whatever comes first, we'll be there from the studio joining you and dissecting everything that we've seen on day 5 in Kanpur. Speaking of the Kanpur Test match, let me take you just a day back because yesterday's day was rather eventful at the Green Park Stadium. What we saw from the Indian team was not Test cricket, it was T20 cricket being played in the whites. Such was the hitting and the batting masterclass from the Indian batters. Rohit Sharma's role, Gautam Gambhir's role is what everyone wanted to know about, and how is it that the Indian coach then communicated to the Indian captain what was the need of the hour. Well, Morne Mokal, the bowling coach, was there at the press conference after yesterday's play ended, and he gave us a bit of an idea as to what that communication was in that innings break. The communication from Gautam Gambhir to Rohit Sharma was clear that we have to go for the win. We have to go for it, and he told Rohit that you have to push things forward now, go for that win, go for the kill. Exactly what the execution was then from the Indian team. In fact, a word of appreciation coming in from the Indian bowling coach for Rohit Sharma, because he was given the job to set the tone, and he did so ever so well. Smashing the first two balls that he faced for sixes, became only the fourth instance in Test cricket that a batter did that. The only Indian to do that before that was Sachin Tendulkar. So he managed to get into the history books as well, and that is what the communication was in the dressing room at the at the innings break yesterday when Bangladesh were dismissed in the first innings. Talking more about Green Park Stadium in Kanpur, because it's been up for criticism. Poor drainage, poor old infrastructure, dilapidated state, not the most modern stadium. It's in fact 80 years old or something. So Rajiv Shukla, a very key member in the BCCI, also comes from the city of Kanpur. He's come out in defense of the facilities and the stadium at large, and saying that the history of the stadiums had it that no game has been washed out. In fact, his word is eventually going to be coming true now. However, he did acknowledge that it's an old stadium, it hasn't gotten the state of the art facilities, but he's been in the city for a couple of days now. He has held talks with the concerned stakeholders as far as upgrading the facilities is concerned, also admitting that there's a lot of work that needs to be done, be it as far as playing conditions, or being the drainage facilities for the stands as well. The playing area, everything needs to be changed. The entire facility will probably have to be dug up. All of that needs to be done, and he admitted that yes, there is a need to modernize the stadium, for which he has been holding meetings during his time in this city. Let's move forward, talk more cricket. Let's talk about one of the Indian youngsters that has everyone's attention, the guy who bowled 156.7 clicks very recently. So one thing that we need to know about Mayank Yadav over here. Mayank Yadav got his maiden India call up just a couple of days back, and we've now gotten to know what is it that he went through once he got the news. He, in fact, shockingly did not know that he was selected for the Indian team. It was those who were around him who started to get congratulatory text messages and calls, and that's when all the buzz happened. He still didn't know that he too got his maiden call up. He too got shortlisted for the T20I series against Bangladesh. It was then that he saw that everyone's phone was buzzing, everyone that was around him. He then went onto the BCCI website and then realized that he too was selected. So nobody around, in fact, told him as well. He had to himself go to the website and know that and find that out that he got his maiden India call up. What a phenomenal year it's been for Mayank Yadav. He also talks about the time that he got that confidence from Vijay Dhaiya at LSG and Gautam Gambhir, who was also back then the mentor of the franchise. How they always saw a bright future for him. We'll be doing a separate story on that as well, because he tells us about a time that he struggled to have a shoe sponsor as well. So stay tuned to Sports Today as we bring you that story in greater detail. Let's talk about South Africa's tour of Bangladesh. Couple of doubts there were clouds about the fact that whether that tour happens or not, whether South Africa get the due clearances. Well, those clearances have been given. South African Cricket Board is assured of security and safety, and now two venues have been zeroed in on, in which at which the two test match series will take place. One is Dhaka, the second one is Chattogram. That is where the two match series will take place. Let me also just give you an outline of what the squad for South Africa will look like. They've gone with three spinners. They've ended up dropping Lungisani Ngidi, who was there in their previous test series. So that's the change that they have made. That was all as far as cricket is concerned. Let me just sum things up by talking a little bit about football now. Eric Ten Hag, the Manchester United manager, he's been under the cosh. Not the kind of start to the season. Manchester United losing to Tottenham Hotspur over the weekend, got a thrashing at Old Trafford. However, it is believed that the Manchester United management is ready to stick with Eric Ten Hag. This is the messaging that we got from the Ineos group that has recently taken over sporting operations at the club, has a minority stake, but that gives them control of sporting operations. And it is believed that regardless of the poor start to the season, they are willing to give Eric Ten Hag the extended rope. Let's see how that works out for Manchester United and its fans. And lastly, Antoine Griezmann, the Frenchman, 2018 World Cup winner, he's called time on his international career. And you'd remember him for his performances there. In fact, in 2021, ended up winning the Nations League as well. So we wish him all the luck and a happy retirement ahead. But you will continue to see him ply his trade for Atletico Madrid, who recently drew the match against Real Madrid in that high-octane derby that we saw play out very recently over the weekend. So that was it as far as the morning wrap is concerned. I'll take your leave for now. Coming up in just about another couple of minutes, well, will be live discussion from the studio. With me will be Sashwat and Nikhil Naz. We'll be dissecting what we saw over the last couple of hours at the Green Park Stadium in Kanpur. Entertaining stuff, and India closing in on a famous win. Thank you so much, guys, for your time.